Nathaniel and who we like, who we don't like, who should be a lot of middle of the pack to see if there's going to be big upsets
Yeah,
or blowout season. How's it going, Nathaniel?
going well. Unfortunately, we picked the worst matchup wise week of the college football season to do our first college football podcast, but you know, we're gonna try to make
Off with the rankings first because I mean that's going to be easier than talking about this average, below average start week. We're going to go through 1 through 25 in the AP poll. Nobody cares about the coaches poll. Number one, Alabama. Number two, Clemson. Number three, Oklahoma. Oklahoma got a vote.
do we really need to list the top 25 to all our listeners? Because I'm assuming they have technology and they're able to pull up the top 25. Can we just
Can I
do
do
the
that at
most
least the top?
surprising things?
No, I'll do that at least the
Or,
top 10.
okay, go ahead.
After Oklahoma, Penn State's number four, USC, Oklahoma State, Washington, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Ohio State.
Out of the top 10, that's an easy answer. Well, actually, it's not that easy of an answer. It's between two teams, I would say. It's either one of the Big Ten schools, Michigan or Ohio State. Take your pick.
Um, I go Michigan. I know a lot of people are going to say Washington's up there. They got Colorado this week, so we'll see how they do there. But I've seen Ohio State enough to know they're not a top 10 team. They're not even close.
Oh, well, they're going to be in the top 10 all year, so
Well,
they will
yeah,
be a top 10 team.
yeah,
But
they will be a top 10
they
team,
were
and
already. Oh, they what happened to him last year happened to him this year. JT Barrett is not a good quarterback, and for some reason people thought he was a Heisman candidate, which was crazy coming into the year after seeing him all last year, just not being able to pass the ball downfield. Um, but yeah, I they're going to be in the top 10 because ESPN loves them, and they'll talk about them, and we'll get down to the Penn State game, and it'll be a possibly for that.
I think Ohio State's gonna probably make it a top five when they play Michigan, and then they're gonna be talking about how Ohio State can jump into the Big Four, the Final Four again, and it's just gonna be another roundabout. They're not a good team. You're right. JT Barrett can't throw the ball. The offense really can't move the ball. So it's frustrating to see that Ohio State might get in, might still have a shot to be in the Big Four.
Unfortunately, but if looking at the top four teams, if they do their job and things play out the way they will or may, we won't have to worry about that
Yeah,
because
but
we definitely have an elite two that are kind of separating themselves from the pack. I would say.
Alabama, Clemson, without a doubt.
Yes. Right.
I
Easily.
mean,
Yeah.
they're two best defenses in the NCAA right now. It's not even close. It's like
I'd
a
actually, I, as much as I not a fan of Alabama, only because the team that wins the most, you're obviously going to hate. But I would really like to see a trilogy.
three-peat.
See Clemson,
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
See,
Well,
not a
back,
three-peat, but just
yeah, a trilogy of
the
Clemson,
one,
Alabama.
yeah, like we didn't get in Rocky, like we never got a Apollo Rocky trilogy matchup.
Because I mean, those defenses going against each other would just be something special to watch. Because I mean, the way Lamar Jackson looked against Clemson, they made the Heisman.
Well, that defense is that good. That defense is really talented up front. Secondary's really good. Brent Venables, probably the way this season's going right now for Clemson, I'd be surprised if he doesn't get a head coaching job after this year. He's been great for Clemson for now. Believe it's 4 straight years. After I believe he coached at Oklahoma and he got chastised a lot for at OU, and he had to go fix some things and went to Clemson, and now look at him and being one of the best defensive coordinators in all of football, which is really good for him. I never thought I'd say Brett Venables is the best defensive coordinator in football.
In the top 25.
Well, there's a few.
Well, who's the main
Surprisingly
one?
or unsurprisingly, they are all SEC related. Go figure. Auburn staying at 15 after winning by only 2 touchdowns over Mercer, and I had Auburn in my prediction to be in the playoff four, so you would think I'd be fine with them at 15, but you only win by 2 touchdowns over Mercer and you don't drop any. That makes no sense. Mississippi State beat LSU. They moved up to 17. I don't know why they couldn't move them higher than Auburn. They're undefeated. Um, so yeah, that's my big issue. I also don't like a team that wins a game that was god awful. I don't care how the finish happened. It was just an awful game. I don't like them moving up 4 spots for just a win when it was a awful, awful game. It was that both teams were trying to lose. It looked like, unfortunately. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the Florida Tennessee game. Those of you that watched it would have been able to figure that out. The best part of that was, I would like to say, Tennessee's running back looks like an NFL prospect. Too bad that their quarterback. And can I get into that game a little bit because a lot of that game frustrated me on Tennessee's side of the ball.
I mean, it is SEC. It's Florida, Tennessee. I mean, I don't think I've watched a good Tennessee game in a long time. I mean, I didn't watch the Georgia Tech Tennessee game just for
But
the fact
I know
just for the fact that
that,
it was Tennessee, and I don't think they put on good performances at all.
well, I know the issues that Tennessee had and why they easily should have won the game. But why are they running a zone read type offense with a pocket passing quarterback, thinking that the defense is gonna expect him to run the ball? That just makes no sense. Their play calling was god awful in the red zone, especially. They'd get down there. Um, they're probably going to be an All-American running back. I actually need to look up his name so I don't mess it up because he definitely deserves me to mention his name because you'll see him in the NFL too. But he would drive them down inside the 25, 20-yard line, and he'd be the reason to get down there. And they were even inside the 5-yard line for a
Are
time.
you
And they
talking
would
about
not,
Jay Kelly?
yes, John Kelly?
Let me make sure I get his first name right. Yeah, John Kelly. He's
Yes, John
59.
Kelly.
He has 56 attempts, 349 rushing yards this year with 5 rushing TDs.
Not, and that's not even including the receiving out of the backfield that he
Uh,
does for them
he had
also.
6 catches, 96 yards in the Florida game, and so he blew Florida pretty much out of
Yes.
the water.
And Tennessee, if your fans don't see this, why are you running a zone read with a quarterback that can't run that offense? You need to fit your offensive system with the players you have. Don't try to fit a square peg into a round hole. And Butch Jones, you are going to be in trouble if you don't stop hitting your head against the wall and doing stuff like this. You are going to be in trouble by the end of this year if you don't fix this. I know you have a quarterback on the bench that you don't like too much, but he's a dual threat quarterback that'll fit that offensive scheme that you're trying to run. So you either have to put him in to make the change or scheme your system more as a downfield run single back no zone read action because he can't run the zone read,
I
and
think
that's gonna
I
kill
think
you
he's already
guys.
on the hot seat because I don't understand his his last play call in that game. Didn't understand either. Uh, Defensively was not good. The man was left one-on-one coverage. Yeah, there was time left, but I just don't think Florida was gonna get in field goal range. I don't personally think that. I've seen Florida enough to know that their offense does not move the ball at all. So for them just to just single coverage and have there was 2 guys open at the end of the game, not just one. There was another guy open that went right there with
Well,
them.
he broke contain and got out of the pocket and bought time, so that allowed that coverage to break down. It wasn't like they just dropped down and That's how it happened. You just broke contain. It was the
So there was
defensive
no
line
safety
problem
help.
also.
There was no safety help at all. Where are your safeties at?
When he breaks
Yeah,
contain, they're
where's
trying to
he's
judge.
not.
That's what
There,
I'm saying, though.
yeah, but
They're
he's
not,
not
that, they weren't playing
but
prevent defense because they didn't want him to get in field goal range.
they would have gotten the field goal range even if they weren't. Even if they were playing prevent defense, they would have not even scored. You know that's a fact. Florida's offense
I don't
does
know that's
not
a
move the
fact at all
ball.
because I thought that was a good chance that they were going to get in field goal range. Actually, they had
And just
a
because
kicker that's
Franks
really solid.
breaks the pocket, the safeties don't have to run up. They could sit where they're at. He's not going to outrun them. And the time was out by the time he
No,
got.
it's not about outrunning them. It's just switching coverage and guessing on which receiver he's going to throw the ball to.
Just
So
stay
they
back there.
came up.
Just stay
Well, they
back
didn't
there.
think he was throwing into the end zone. They thought they
Where
were going
else
for
is he
field
going to
goal
throw
range.
the ball to? There's 0 seconds left
Anybody
on the
over
clock.
the anybody. There was
By the
not.
time
Well,
by
at the
the time
time,
he
it was nine
broke the
seconds.
plane,
Yes, I
by the
know. I
time he
know.
broke the plane, there was 0 seconds.
Yes,
Your
I
coaches,
know. I know this. I know this. But the players, when you're in that moment, you don't recognize how much time, or you're not counting, oh, this was a 9 second play. You're not thinking that. At the time when the play
the
is going on,
defensive
you're not thinking,
coordinator should have
oh,
said the
that was 9 seconds.
linebackers could get the middle of the field, force everything in the middle. They have no timeouts. They're not going to score going in the middle. They will run
I
out.
believe they did have one
Did they
timeout.
have one timeout? But they weren't. They weren't. I promise you that Florida was not looking for a
You
field
can
goal.
promise all you want, but I'm just saying that the situation called for you can't just play prevent defense and let them throw the ball 25 yards over the middle of the field and have an attempt at a game-winning field goal. It's not
Do you
that
hear
easy.
yourself say 25 yards? When's the last time you seen Florida, other than that Hail Mary play, break a 25-yard playoff?
Okay, but they scored 27 points in that game or something, so they definitely did have plays down the field.
One of them's a Hail Mary pass. Can't count that one.
Okay, that's fine. But situational football, situational football, situational football. I'm just saying they didn't play the situation as bad as you're saying they did.
In my opinion, they did. In your opinion, they didn't, but in my opinion, they did.
If you were going to complain about something, I'd rather complain about their offensive game plan system. But if you're just, yeah, fine. Their offense lost them the game. Their defense did not.
The offense got them back into the game, giving them a tie, Nathaniel. So you can't say the offense didn't do anything.
How can I not when they were inside the 3 yard line and they chose not to give the ball to their best player, except on a little out route that lost a yard instead of running the ball when they were at the 1 yard line? That Florida got a personal foul penalty to go half the distance to the goal. They tried to run a fade route. I will say the receiver dropped the back shoulder fade, so that didn't help. And then they tried to run a slant to another receiver. They never ran the ball inside the 3 yard line with their best players. So how's that not on their offensive coaches in that time? And they were down. They were down in the Florida's end of the field in the second half. The entire second half, they were down on their side of the field. They dominated the game, but the play calling in key situations just wasn't good. Wasn't good enough, and that's not going to get it done. When you have play calling like that, that's why you lose on a Hail Mary. It's not because of that one play is why they lost. They had plenty of chances that they could have put the game away. Their kicker blew a couple kicks also,
Oh
which
yeah,
doesn't help.
kicker missed quite a bit of kicks. So
Yeah, so that doesn't help either, but it's not the Hail Mary is not the reason that it is the end result on why they lost, but that's not the reason they lost the game. There was a lot of other issues going on that caused them to lose that game, which gets me to the point why is Florida moved up 4 spots for getting dominated in a game against a mediocre Tennessee team. But
yeah, Florida probably shouldn't be 20. I'm thinking about 23. Auburn maybe
how are they
18.
better than West Virginia? That's what I don't get. How are they better than
I
West
don't
Virginia?
understand how West Virginia is not in the top 25.
Yeah, I was.
Their only loss is in a neutral, well, it's neutral site in Washington at FedEx Field. They
Yeah, it's a
lost to
big reset.
Vautech,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
they only lost by, it was very close. It wasn't like a blowout. So for them not to be in the top 25 is kind of ridiculous, and for a team like Louisville to still be in the top 25, I mean, yeah, they lost to Clemson, but how's Florida in the top 25 when their neutral site game was a lot worse than West Virginia's neutral site game?
Yeah, it's just the SEC bias that goes on in the rankings, and it'll continue to go on until more people recognize about the bias that goes on. But we'll be here to point it out every week about the bias that goes on when, especially after this Mississippi State Georgia game. If you want to transition to that,
I kind of
as
wanted to transition to the. Well, I'm an Arizona fan, so Friday we got the 23rd ranked Utes going to Arizona, and their Utes are a 3.5 favorite. That's a sneaky upset right there, my friends. You better watch out. Dawkins might be running all over Utah. I haven't watched Utah this year, so if you, any Utah fans want to tell me why you guys are going to beat them, let me know. But I think Arizona wins by 10 and on Friday night on FS1 at 9:30. So if you want to watch an upset first week of the on Friday, go ahead.
I don't see Houston in these rankings. Did they lose?
I don't believe they did. I can go check them out right quick.
'Cause I'm assuming they must have lost if they're not in the rankings. And if they lost, then you lost to Houston. It's not a good sign for your Utah upset pick.
Just because we lost doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
And I've seen,
They're 2-0, and they play Texas Tech, and they're probably going to beat Texas Tech because they have one of the best defenders that nobody will ever watch other than maybe one time in a bowl game.
we're
Which is
talking Ed Oliver, obviously, right? Ed
Yeah,
Oliver.
Ed Oliver, the best DT in the NCAA right now. If you want to watch a guy that just gets into the backfield and causes havoc, watch one Utah game and you'll realize what I'm talking about.
Are you sure Houston hasn't lost a game?
Yeah, they're 2-0. I just looked at it. They're playing Texas Tech this week. They're 6-point
I,
favorites against
I
Texas
swear,
Tech.
I swear they were ranked at the preseason polls, weren't they?
They
Or they must.
I don't think they were, but they are they are not at the moment.
Maybe that was just
That
a
might have
poll
been
that
like
the Longhorn Radio, the Longhorn radio station did a top 25 on 104.9 The Horn. Give a shout out to them. They did it, and they had them at 25. Maybe that's why I was thinking they were ranked. I don't understand why they don't have one vote. That's weird to me that they only have one vote. But yeah, it is what it is.
uh,
They get to play Texas Tech. That should be a sneaky good game. Hopefully that'll be able to watch that matchup. A lot of points. And
we're
Ed
gonna.
Oliver is always fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
Anybody, if you haven't watched Houston, just put on Houston for a couple minutes and you'll recognize who the best player on the field is instantly on defense because he shoots the gaps quick as hell. He's going to be a top three draft pick, probably number one overall because of his versatility to play inside, outside, and a 3-4 on the defensive line. Yeah, that guy is just a freak of nature.
We're gonna move on into another Texas team, but this is a ranked team, the number 16 ranked Horned Frogs versus the number 6 ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys. Which, by the way, I'm gonna talk about ESPN right now. For one, how insulting it is that they aren't going to Stillwater, Oklahoma for this
Oh
game. I
yeah,
have no idea. And I'm like, oh, well, they're bad weeks. But then I look and I see 16 ranked TCU going against Oklahoma State, and I'm like, why aren't they going to Stillwater? There's something going on in Stillwater? They just not want to go to the central part of America? I'm a little bit confused here.
I was gonna say, is Stillwater even gonna have a chance for game day to be over there? Do they get Oklahoma at home? And is that why they're just like, oh, we'll see them at home
Let me
when
look that up. But
OU plays them?
I was more shocked. I was like, wait, what is going on? Why aren't you going to Stillwater? You go everywhere else, but you're not going to go to Stillwater?
Yeah, that really bothers me. But they want to go to New York, and ESPN wants to do their own little thing. So ESPN wants to be ESPN and not care about the Big 12. I think a lot of it has to do with the television rights that Fox has the rights to the Big 12 and Pac-12. So if it's not an SEC game or an ACC game, they're
But it's going
not
to be
really going to
on
be.
ESPN. It's on ESPN. So I don't understand why they want to be.
ESPN chose it. Oh, ESPN
Yeah,
chose its game
it's
as their
their
TV game
2:30
too.
game. 2:30
Oh,
ESPN,
wow, that's
and
even
then
more surprising then.
USC and Cal and USC will be on ABC. Cal's at home, by the way,
Yeah,
but it just
yeah.
doesn't make any
They were
sense.
they were just locked into their New York trip. They've never been. It's going to be a bad atmosphere. So
It's just
feel
going to be a
bad for
bunch of
people that.
visitors in the middle of Times Square cheering. It's not going to be
And why go to New York? What does New York represent in college football? Why is that a big deal?
Syracuse and
Maybe I have to
Rutgers.
watch.
Syracuse
Maybe I
and
have to watch
Rutgers.
game day to find out why New York should be on there. New York is a big town that they don't care about college football. If it's not a pro team, no one in New York really cares. They have their little bars with the fraternities that people go to, but that's no reason at all for them to go to New York. It's insulting, and it's a shame that college game day has fallen so far. But
Sorry about
that's
that.
yeah,
About the college game day rant. We're going to actually get on to the game. We got the two
yeah.
quarterbacks,
We
Mark
went on a
Rudolph.
little. We went on a little bit too long on that rant, but yeah,
Yeah,
it was needed. I feel better that I got that off my
yeah.
chest.
We got Mr. Trill versus Mark Rudolph, who's a sneaky Heisman contender, which
Mason Rudolph,
oh,
Mason.
I'm sorry, Mason Rudolph. He's a sneaky Heisman contender because he's not getting a lot of time.
That
Well,
Pittsburgh game, he threw for 400 yards in the first half.
it's
Or
sneaky because nobody really cares about Oklahoma State. I
why
don't.
do
They're the
what do you
sixth
mean
best.
nobody cares about him?
Nobody's like, oh, Oklahoma State's really good. They have a shot to get in. They're just like Oklahoma. They care more about
Them
Oklahoma
when
than
they blew
Oklahoma
out
State's.
Pittsburgh, when they blew out Pittsburgh, there wasn't a whole lot of talk on. Wow,
Yeah,
that was a great performance.
yeah.
It was more.
It's just like, and you're like,
Yeah,
wait a minute. They still have Washington. Their offense is fucking unbelievable. From Hill to Washington to Rudolph to
Aitman, the other big
Aitman, yeah, the
receiver on
other
the
big
outside, and
receiver.
then they have the slot receiver. I
Um,
don't want to sound just generic, but they have the slot wide receiver in the inside, number 17. So they're stacked all across the board, and their defense, Big 12 defenses. Maybe next week we could do a breakdown on why they think Big 12 defenses aren't very good, but there's a different way you have to play defense in the Big 12, and they say it doesn't translate to big games, but translate it up to Columbus, and it can translate. Sometimes the offense just has bad games, or they get out of their rhythm on what they're supposed to do when they play against bigger schools. But if you get turnovers, and Oklahoma State has been notorious for being one of the best teams at getting turnovers, that's their way of playing. They can get turnovers, and their offense, yeah, just their offense is going to score. It's too talented. They have a top 10 quarterback and a top 10 receiver in the draft probably next year.
Washington might be a second round just because of his size, but he will be a big
He's
time.
6'1".
I'm thinking like 6'3", whether he would be a top 5. I think
Well,
Washington.
if Kevin White got drafted number 8, I definitely think Washington should be drafted
Yeah, no doubt. But
in the top 10.
TCU, got anything about TCU? The
I love their defense. Really good classic TCU defense. I know they struggled big time against SMU last week.
They struggled for a little bit. Then they went
Yeah,
and they win. Then they went and blew them out.
it was,
It took
nah,
them.
they
It
didn't
took
really.
them.
Well,
It took them time to get
three
moving.
quarters.
Yeah, it took
Yeah,
them.
but
Mr. Hill. Hill had a nice little stat line though. He had 24 for 30, 365, 4 touchdowns, and his average pass was 12.2 yards per pass attempt. I mean,
yeah, well,
those are
yeah,
stats
it
that
was against SMU's
yeah,
defense.
but those are stats that Hill needs to keep up if TCU wants to compete for the Big 12 title game and the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, well, and when we get to the prediction, I'll tell you that I don't think he's going to have those kind of stats against Oklahoma State. But TCU's defense. Oh, another sneaky thing is nobody seemed to mention that TCU went into Arkansas and beat Arkansas playing physical football, running the ball right at them,
Yes, they
and playing
did.
solid defense.
And
And
not only that, they only
I
gave
don't
up 7
remember,
points.
I don't think anybody talked about it. I
No,
really don't think anybody talked about that.
I'm just like Oklahoma State. They're like, meh, good win, meh.
So this is going to be of course, a high-scoring game because it's in the Big 12,
Big
and you'll
12.
see points. Yeah, see points. I still feel like TCU's offense and Kenny Trill is going to turn the ball over just enough to make this kind of a probably a 45 to I don't know 24-31 type game. I think Oklahoma State will win by 2 scores. I would say.
Two scores.
Just because Kenny Trill will turn the ball over and Mason Rudolph does not turn the ball over. He threw an interception in the third quarter against Pittsburgh, and that was the first interception in over 160 plus throws. So he takes care of the ball really well, and that's going to be the key to why Oklahoma State wins the game. If TCU wants to go in there and win, their game plan to winning is hopefully their defense plays similar to how they did against Arkansas and plays lights out, and they run the ball with effectiveness and maybe get Turpin to have a special teams touchdown or two. That's the way they can go about winning it, but I just don't see it. How about you?
Uh, I love me some Kenny Trill, uh, but he has a turnover problem, and I think he's gonna have one of those games where he might have two interceptions and a strip fumble. Uh, I want to see TCU. I would like to see TCU go back to their defensive ways. Patterson is known for his defenses, and last year wasn't his best defensive team, but they were very young. They've now got a full year under them, and I think it'll be. I don't think it's going to be 40s. I think it's going to be mid 30s, and that's saying a lot in this day and age of Big 12 offensive passing games.
Mid 30s for both teams, or
Yeah,
just one team?
mid 30s for both. Both of them aren't going to get in the 40s. I think both defenses are probably maybe 1-2 in the Big 12. Oklahoma could be up there, but I don't really want to put Oklahoma up
I
there.
would say Kansas State's defense is up there.
Kansas State's defense is always up there, but I want to see them. I want to see them do it against a better offensive team than what they played in Vanderbilt.
So mid 30s for both teams. So you didn't pick a winner though.
Uh, my winner is going to be Oklahoma State because Mr. Trill is going to probably lose the fumble in the last drive. Probably going to go. I'm going to say around 32 to about 37.
32-37, huh? All right. 32-37. Well, definitely if you're willing to bet on the game, we got two different answers. I don't know what the spread is, but I
Uh,
definitely
I
I'm
know
gonna be
Oklahoma
putting
State's
a well,
favorite.
of course, yeah, they're
Oklahoma
definitely
State's
favored.
by 2 touchdowns, ladies and gentlemen. They are at home, so
It's a full 14,
13. It's not full four.
13.
Yeah,
I'll probably place a little wager on Oklahoma State because I think they could cover that. But
I mean they are at home
we
too, and they are a pretty dominant team at the moment. But offenses have those woe days, so and then this could be a woe game. But Oklahoma State fans are gonna be up for this game. They're gonna be pissed off College game day and come there. They're gonna show ESPN how loud they can get.
Yeah, the more I think about it, I think they might rout them. I think this game is actually going to be maybe three touch. Yeah, I think Oklahoma State wins this easily. Actually,
We
I'll go
move
on
on.
record for saying that. Let me change it. I'll go on record and say they win this easily, going away.
Win it easily.
And everyone by the end of this game is going to actually say that Mason Rudolph is the number one contender for the Heisman. I'll go all in.
You going all in?
Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
Uh,
That's how I feel.
we're gonna move on to the other ranked game of the week. It's not the game of the
The
week.
only other ranked game
Only other ranked game. We're not gonna call it the
with
game of the
two
week.
only opponents, only
Yeah.
other game that's having two opponents play each other that are ranked. We should say.
Uh,
Yeah,
Georgia versus newly ranked. Well, not newly ranked, but in
yeah,
the
they weren't
picture.
ranked last week.
They weren't ranked last week. All right, newly ranked Mississippi State. Mr. Fitzpatrick has got his Mississippi State Bulldogs in the top 25 since the Dak Prescott era. Not the last year for Dak Prescott, his junior year. So don't get all hyped up, Dallas Cowboy fans. But Mississippi State looked good against LSU. LSU did not look like top 15 team last week at all. But I don't know. The Mississippi State's just they're middle to back end top 25 team. And nothing special.
Their defense is really talented. Coming into this year, I was thinking they were the sneaky type team. So I picked LSU last week just because I lived in Louisiana for 5+ years, so I'm always gonna kind of root for LSU. But I was really surprised that Mississippi State came out and blew them out like they did. Mississippi State's got a solid defense. Dan Mullen finally has his offensive system working the way I think he really wants to have it work. They got a lot of talent, and I'm not a big believer in Georgia. They beat Notre Dame. I don't know if who the quarterback is going to be. Is there
It's From.
freshman quarterback
It's the
from?
freshman.
Is he still going to play? Yeah, is the other the sophomore? He's not. Eason's still out with the injury,
I'm
or
pretty
is
sure
it
Kirby.
just going to be a quarterback controversy
It's
throughout
not
the
gonna be.
rest of the season?
I think he's just gonna keep Fromming. He's just gonna roll. He's just gonna keep the hot hand rolling. I mean, it's not really hot, but he's gonna keep that thing going until they lose.
Well, the thing about Georgia is the running backs they have, the two talented running backs,
Oh,
is that
Mr.
if
Chubbs
they
and
just Chubb and damn, how can I not remember his name? Um, well, they have the two best running back duo in all of college football. Um, I'm sorry, USC fans, it's true, but
uh,
I think that's their way of winning this game. As much as I want to pick Mississippi State on the road, if they could just play ball control, offense, run the ball, keep Fitzpatrick, or it's Fitzgerald, right? Fitzgerald or Fitzpatrick? I'm just losing it right now. I'm not even paying attention.
well, the second running back is Michel or Michel. I don't want to. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Michelle, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't want to mess it up, Georgia fans, but I hope I didn't. And Fitzgerald is the
yeah,
Mississippi
Fitzgerald.
State quarterback. I might have said Fitzpatrick. I apologize for that. Like I said,
Yeah, too much of Ryan Fitzpatrick from the NFL days sneaking into our subconsciousness. We apologize.
a little bit of that and a little bit of I just don't know. I just don't know where Mississippi State's gonna come out of this tougher SEC West. See, I believe to see even if Mississippi State wins this game, Georgia will still have a shot of making the SEC championship game because of because of they're in the SEC East, and they all they have to do is beat Florida and Tennessee, and they're
Just a sec. Hold on. I gotta look at the schedule to see if Georgia plays Florida next week. Because if they play Florida next week, I could definitely see Mississippi State winning this game.
they play Tennessee.
Oh, they play Tennessee.
They go Mississippi State, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Missouri, Florida.
Tennessee's a different story. Um, at Tennessee, they can't
Uh,
be looking past Mississippi State. They should be pumped for this game.
yeah, it's at
As much
Tennessee.
as I really want to pick Mississippi State and jump on the bandwagon like everybody else and just say I was on it early. I just I can't do it. I'm just gonna say that Georgia's gonna win this game by their ball control offense, and the freshman's not gonna make mistakes in Kirby Smart's defensive strategy. Going back to when he was the defensive coordinator against Alabama or for Alabama when they would play Mississippi State, they would give Dan Mullen all sorts of trouble, and that Mississippi State team that would come in the top 10, everyone would be pumped up saying that they're going to come in and beat Alabama.
And they got
Alabama
hammered.
would shut
Yeah,
them
I
down.
don't even
Yeah,
think. Yeah,
so
it was bad. I remember that. It was
I'm
well,
just going to say a combination of Kirby Smart's knowing how to slow down a Dan Mullen offense and the game plan on offense that Georgia will have with just running the ball, controlling the clock. I say they win this game probably similar to the Notre Dame game, maybe 20 to
19.
14, not 19. Yeah, similar. I was gonna say they're gonna score a similar amount of points that they scored against Notre Dame. Um, so I'm gonna say
Plus,
like 20,
it, it's
2013.
it's so hard for Mississippi State because I mean, their schedule is not the hardest thing in the world, but it's a lot harder than Georgia's. They got right after this, they go and play Auburn at Auburn, which is
Oof.
yeah, it's already that's you're just going back to back, so you're gonna wear yourself out in this game, and then you're gonna have to go and play Auburn, and then you go play BYU, which I don't know, nobody wants to play BYU.
BYU's playing Mississippi State.
Yeah, it's a weird game, isn't it? Like really? Then they go play Kentucky. Then they play A&M, and by that time, who knows? A&M might just sneak a win in because they want to make a bowl game. Then they play a easy UMass team. Then they got Alabama. Then they got Alabama. Then they go play Arkansas, and then they got the Egg Bowl. So it's kind of like it's a tougher road. They're
No,
one.
that back end of the schedule's not bad. It's just right now.
I
Right
mean,
now
you
they're
got
in the midst of their
but you
tough
can't
stretch.
say Ole Miss isn't going to be a hard game because it's the Egg Bowl and they're going to want to play in the Egg. It's always going to be a hard game.
Yeah, but I could say comparing that to this gauntlet they're going through right now, it's not even close.
Oh, it's not close. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The
I
back
feel
end
like
isn't that bad.
for some reason, every SEC team loves putting a Division two team. Well, I don't think
Oh
UMass
yeah,
is,
well that's
or
what they do. That's what they
yeah,
do. They don't play they play seven. I want to say they play seven conference games instead of eight that all other conferences plays besides the Big 12, which plays nine.
yeah. They want to make themselves look good at the end of the year. They got to make sure they get their rankings up real quick.
Yeah, everyone knows that though. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, it's just a tough stretch for Mississippi State right now, going from LSU to at Georgia to at Auburn. That's some gauntlet right there.
Yeah, it's going to be a
So
tough
it's
one.
gonna.
I actually
Don't
think
worry, you win this game. College game day will be in Auburn for Mississippi State next week.
I actually think Mississippi State won't win this game. I wanted to pick them there, but I can't. Then Georgia's not LSU, uh, but I mean, geez, Louise, it's
How are
just
they
like
not LSU? I need more than just
they have
why
a
are they
better
not
running.
LSU?
They're a better running game, and I think defensively, one, they got a better coach. Two, they have better. I like how do you pronounce his name? The LSU running back, Gusay.
Guys,
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 yeah,
guys.
guys. I
Yeah.
like him. I love him. He's a great running back. He's going to be a good NFL pro. But I mean, once you stopped him, he had 15 for 76, and once you stop him, you're not going to LSU's not going to do anything. At least with Georgia, they can kind of get a half decent, better passing game than uh, LSU, and their defense is better right now than LSU's.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to actually watching this game because depending on how Georgia looks in this matchup, I might change my opinion on what Georgia might do the rest of the year. They could actually start to take its advantage of the crappy East and maybe run away with it. So I'd be interested to watch. I know a lot of people probably aren't looking forward to this game, but I think it'll be a fun watch and should be good.
All right, I'm gonna throw some games out at you, and I want you to pick the best upset out of these games. We're gonna
Okay.
have Washington, Colorado, Penn State, Iowa, Florida, Kentucky, Auburn, Missouri, Michigan, Purdue, Alabama, Vanderbilt. Anyone else I want to throw in there? NC State, Florida State. Which one of those teams could get the upset? And I'll give you the home game. NC State's on the road against Florida State. Cal's at home against USC. Vanderbilt's at home against Alabama. Purdue's at home against Michigan. Missouri's at home against Auburn. Kentucky's at home. Iowa's at home, and Colorado's at home. So pretty much almost every underdog's at home.
I have I looked at the schedule and I have an idea of a couple of upsets that I think are actually going to happen.
You so
I
you have
like Purdue over I
you have
like
two
Purdue
of
over
them.
Michigan.
How many you got? You got two.
I have two. I'm leaning towards three. But Like I said, I like Purdue over Michigan. Um, Michigan's offense is god awful right now. I don't.
His name.
McCaffrey?
Or
Nah, they're
is,
not
no,
going to bring
not
McCaffrey in.
McCaffrey. Conan?
Well, they did it against Florida. They did it against Florida. They brought the quarterback, the backup quarterback in for a series. So
I was trying to remember his name.
I just don't. Um, the new head coach of Purdue, um, he's from Western Kentucky. They have that spread offensive
Oh
system.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
really happy that they got a good coach finally. Because I'm like Purdue, they've been just lacking a coach ever since the
Rose Bowl
Tiller.
victory.
Yeah, Tiller. That
Uh,
was really good for him. But I'm really happy for Purdue that they have a good coach. They got excitement back in them, and I want to say that they're gonna be pumped up. I want to see a good home field advantage. It's kind of similar to how Northwestern when they have those night games and sneak up on teams. I'm having a feeling that they're gonna be able to put some points up on this talented Michigan defense. They'll be able to scheme it, and I just don't think Michigan will be able to score enough points to keep pace with Purdue. And I'm sorry, Michigan fans, that you're just 1 year away, unfortunately, from
competing in
being
the
the
Final
team that,
Four.
yeah, I know a lot of people thought this year could have been the year, but from what I've seen offensively, I don't think so. And plus, Purdue has been tested early. They've had two good tests. The game against Louisville on the neutral site, and then going on the road and beating Missouri, and not just beating them, but dominating them.
Would they? I
I
think
think
they
that
only
gives
gave
them
up 3 points in that game.
3 points. Yeah, it was 35-3, I want to say. I think it just gives them confidence. So coming into this game, they're confident. They're a confident bunch, and I think that'll carry them more than anything. Just coming into the game thinking and having a feeling that they can win. So I really see this upset happening. And there was another upset I got, but I won't call this an upset because this team just isn't very good and they don't deserve to be ranked anyway. So Florida is going to lose to Kentucky at Kentucky because their offense sucks. Defense is pretty good though, but their offense is just so bad that they're not going to win at Kentucky, and Florida fans are going to be freaking out. So, yeah, Florida's losing that game. And then I will say, whatever the spread is on the USC Cal game, I like Justin Wilcox, the head coach of Cal, a lot. That they got from as the defensive coordinator of Wisconsin last year. I really like him, so I see that game being a little bit closer than people think. Penn State, Iowa. I like Penn State a lot this year, so it's gonna be tough at Iowa and a night game, I believe, for them to perform the way Penn State has been performing all year. It's probably going to be a little bit of a sloppy type game. They won't score a lot of points, but I say they still are able to hold on to pull out a victory in that one. Any upsets that you like
Um,
that
I
I did
got.
not say?
I think. I think that Iowa game's dangerous for Penn State. Uh, it's either two. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a close game, but I think they'll struggle at the beginning because it is a night game in Iowa, and Iowa fans are just gonna go wild in there for a little bit. Penn State will regain the ground, and I think they'll blow them out at the end. But don't look over the Colorado Buffaloes. I think that game right there is upsets in the making. Washington didn't look good week one. They had a little struggle week two for a bit. And I just think Colorado's better than an unranked team. I think Colorado should be ranked. I mean, how do you go from being in the Pac-12? They're going from the Pac-12 championship game to not being ranked. It's kind of insulting to them. And
They lost their defensive coordinator.
yeah, but the defense is still strong. It's still good.
I'm just saying. I'm just giving reasons. They lost
I
their
know.
quarterback. They lost a couple defensive players that are playing in the NFL right now.
They
They've
still got
lost some
Lindsey,
talent.
but everybody loses talent. I mean, you can say that about Florida. You can say that about LSU, but yet they're still ranked.
Yeah, because they have a depth of talent. That's the
You could
difference.
say that about Louisville though. What is so good about what is so good
Colorado
about
doesn't have the
Louisville?
depth of talent.
The depth of talent of
Petrino
Louisville?
Petrino has been recruiting guys for 4 or 5 plus years. The Colorado coach just got there 2, 3 years ago. They
And
don't
look
have
at
the
what they're
depth.
doing.
They
They
don't. They don't have the depth of talent. So you could say that other teams lose players. Yes, they all lose players, but when you lose players to the NFL when you're Colorado, it's a little bit different than LSU having 5 stars just coming in every single year. The
Yeah, we see
talent
how
is
great
not the same.
five-star offensive players do for LSU.
Okay, but I'm just saying that your point is not valid. It's not the same between all teams.
Well, if you want to compare it, so you're telling me Louisville is just light years ahead of Colorado because of Petrino.
They're a couple years. They're a couple years ahead because he's had more years to recruit players over there.
They're gonna lose. So once they lose their next game, they're still gonna be ranked.
No, they're not.
All right. I think Colorado's a sneaky one.
Just like not a sneaky one. You got to go on record. You can't be just pulling these sneaky things. You need to go on record and say something. You can't just say that I could see this team winning this and winning that. You need to go on record and make a prediction on something.
No, I just said that I don't think any upset's going to happen this week. Just watch out for them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I asked the question. That doesn't mean I think it's actually going to be an upset this week.
So
I
you
think
have zero upsets happening at all this week. None. You got nothing.
Kentucky over Florida, but that's about it. I mean,
All right.
there's not.
I'm gonna go on record and say NC State beats Florida State too. So I got that one.
Is that
give me the
because of the
trio.
quarterback situation in Florida State?
Yeah,
I'm
and NC State's defense is good.
Is it good?
And is it
Wait, there's no
an
way
11
you can't
o'clock game?
say.
Is it a classic?
Yeah, it's an
Is
11
it a
o'clock
classic
game.
11 o'clock Florida State game?
I believe so.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's
Give me
11
NC State
You
all
can't
day.
say
Florida
NC
State.
State.
There won't be anybody. There's not going to be anybody in that stadium. Florida State doesn't come out for 11:30 games. It's going to be quiet in there, just like it was when they played South Florida. Any of their 11 o'clock games, those fans are not there. It's going to be a half-empty stadium. NC State's going to be feeling comfortable. It's easy.
By the way, don't tell me NC State has a good defense when they gave up 35 to South Carolina. You
Yeah,
can't.
first week of the season. Jitters.
Yeah. Nobody gives up that many points to South Muschamp's offenses.
Are we sure it was all offensive touchdowns?
There might have been pick six in there, so but it's still all right. Don't give up 28. Don't give up more than 21.
Yeah, that's fine. But Florida State's offense isn't great.
Well, they lost their quarterback. Their offense did not look good against Alabama, but that's Alabama. They didn't play.
Yeah.
They didn't get to play Miami last week. That was kind of disappointing. But they start the week off this. They're going to start off this week. But yeah, it's going to be a rough college week. You want to
No,
go?
it's going to be great. See, you're looking at the glass half empty. I'm looking at glass half full. There's going to be a lot of upsets. It's going to be a really fun college football weekend.
At the beginning of this show, you said the same thing I just said.
The matchups, yes, matchup-wise.
I said
I'm
this
just saying
has the,
matchup-wise.
I also said it has the potential to be a crazy week, but it's not going to be a crazy week. That's what the hope
I don't
is.
like the way you can't be right on the fence.
That's not
You're
right
right
on
on
the
the
fence.
fence too much.
It's not right on the
It
fence.
has the potential to be, but it
If I
won't
said at the
be.
beginning that it has potential to be, but it won't be, that's not right in the fence. That's saying it's not going to be, but it does have the potential because there's so many middle-of-the-pack upset games this week.
Yes, and there will be plenty of upsets this week.
All right, there you go. The Thou has on record that there's going to be a lot of upsets this week. And
Let me recap. So I'm on record for my upsets.
Oh, you're already
NC
on
State,
record. You're on
NC
record.
State over Florida. Just let me recap it. Let me recap my upsets. So it's known.
You
NC
have
State
every
over.
ranked team losing this week, pretty much.
I think that's a little
Outside
extreme.
of the top 10, you have every ranked team losing. You have the number 12.
So I have
you
Washington State losing. I have Auburn losing. I have Louisville losing. I have Oregon losing. I have Utah losing. I don't have those teams losing.
I mean, you might as well
I have,
just throw them
I have
out there.
I guess I can. No, let me just say my four upsets that I have.
All right, go
Since
ahead.
I'm the only one that
Wait,
I'm the
I
only
do have an
one
upset. I
on this.
said it.
I'm the only one on this podcast willing to predict upsets
I
apparently.
did.
So let me just make
I
sure the
said
people know.
Arizona was going to beat Utah on Friday. Boom, upset.
That doesn't count because that's biased because you're an Arizona fan. So get that out of there.
All right. I mean, I'm a realist
So there
Arizona
you
fan
go.
though.
Here's my parlay that's gonna win me money on Saturday. I'm gonna have NC State over Florida State, have Purdue over Michigan, gonna have Kentucky over Florida, and then the last one I'm gonna throw in there is going to be what was the last one I had? I can't even remember now because it got me talking about all the top 25 teams that I don't have and do have.
Who'd you say?
Um,
Did you say Kentucky over Florida? You have Iowa over Penn State.
I don't have Iowa over Penn State.
So you had Purdue over Michigan. You said Cal was going to cover against USC.
Yeah, I said cover. Yeah, so I might throw them in there too. Yeah, maybe it was just Purdue. So give me Purdue, NC State, and Kentucky. There you go. Upsets
All right. Here you
all
go.
day. I'll screenshot my payouts so I could broadcast it to the world about how much money I'm gonna make off of this easy parlay. So
He will not be
I'll be laughing to the
screenshotting.
bank.
He'll be screenshotting his 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
Either way, if y'all don't see a screenshot, yeah, you guys already know I lost. But we'll see. We shall see. Crazy things have happened. But should be a good college football weekend. Games don't look great, but things can turn around in a hurry with one upset. You know how it goes. More upsets tend to happen after you get that one. So after that NC State upset over Florida State, anything's going to happen. So don't sleep on this weekend. I know the matchups aren't very good, but still
Never
should be
sleep.
fun.
Never sleep on a college football week. That's all we're
Yeah,
gonna say. But
yeah.
this is gonna we're gonna be done for the college football week. We're gonna see you guys on Sunday.
Next Wednesday for college football?
No, Sunday.
Or are
We're
we
gonna
going to do a
recap.
recap on Sunday?
Yeah, we'll do a recap so you
Oh,
could come in. You could come on the show and talk about how much disappointing all your upset picks were. You
oh
might
yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
you might get one, but I doubt it. I doubt you get one.
Okay, well, it should be fun either way. Either way, I'll either eat crow or I'll be making somebody else eat crow. So should be fun. What are we doing tomorrow? What's the
Uh,
podcast for tomorrow?
English Premier League. We're gonna
Ooh,
talk a
you
little
know
soccer.
something? Do we know anything about soccer? Do we? Do
I think we know a little bit. We're gonna go across the
we?
pond. We're gonna go across the pond and talk a little English. We might talk some other teams here and there, but I know La Liga played
Mainly stick to
today. Yeah,
yeah. Real
but
Madrid lost
Real
today.
Madrid, yeah,
Yeah.
first loss of the year.
Yeah, they
Not
didn't even score a goal. They're struggling.
they're struggling a little bit, but they'll be all right. They're still back-to-back Champions League winners.
Yeah, but this talk we got to save for tomorrow. We can't give out our soccer knowledge in the college football episode, and plus our college football fans don't want to hear us talk about soccer. So
Nah, just give
we
them a
need to get
little.
out of here before we start rambling.
Just give them a little preview. That's gonna do it. If you like the show, drop a like, drop a subscribe. We do have a Twitter now. It's at UNU Sports Talk 1. Go ahead and follow us on there. We're gonna be posting every day. Check us out. Appreciate it, and we'll see y'all
Don't
tomorrow.
forget, don't forget, Kentucky, NC State, Purdue,
I'm pretty sure.
moneymakers.
I'm pretty sure everybody remembered that, and everybody was gonna be laughing at you on Sunday. All right, we're gonna
All
catch you
right.
guys later.
Good night, y'all.